It's a fraternal life insurance organization located in West Seneca, founded in 1890 here in the Buffalo area. Jim Jawoziak is the president.
James Juzwiak.
Well, you say that, I say this. Everybody knows who he is.
You say tomato, I say tomato? No,
yes,
it's Juzwiak. This is Polish.
He's one of our honorees previously for his volunteer work.
Saint Adalbert, Święty Wojciech.
And Father Bojanowski, who's our chaplain.
Yep.
Because everybody knows St. Adalbert's Basilica.
An incredibly dedicated fighter to keep the basilica open.
Regardless of what Rome says, we'll call it a basilica.
Hey, they call it a basilica, and you know, I think, didn't Rome bestow the title of basilica on?
That's what we say.
It's not just OLV out there in Lackawanna, but this one is because it's in the city. But in any case, Święty Wojciech, St. Adalbert.
They're trying. It's on the list to be closed, and I know there's an appeal.
I know.
And
they're fighting for it. They're really fighting for it.
There's many churches, and of course we're not getting into the middle of all that. But it's a beautiful building. The people who run it, Father Bojanowski, does a fantastic job, and it's a shame if that element of culture can't continue. But
I have to tell you where they're located. Okay, I look at it as the Polish Triangle because you have St. Stanislaus, the Mother Church of Polonia, you have St. Adalbert, and you have Corpus Christi, which is also a part of this year's parade. They haven't come by in front of us yet, but they will be coming. Okay, and those, if you could actually take a ruler and draw a big triangle in between these three churches, and that's the most incredible display of Polish churches and the treasures that are in there. Those churches are part of, there used to be the Historical Preservation Society tour of churches.
Right.
In fact, St. Jerome, was it Jerome? Gerard, which is being dismantled now in
December. They have, I think, the tour of the masses for the...
it's awesome. And if you haven't seen these, people go to Rome to see beautiful churches. We have beautiful churches here in Buffalo.
Right here.
Absolutely. The most incredibly beautiful churches we have here.
This is Congressman
in Buffalo. Of course, there are quite a few of them.
Well, he took over when Monsignor Gabalski passed away.
Yes.
And that's the Mother Church of Polonia.
Yes, it is.
And he's done a fantastic job. They refurbished the buildings, keeping it alive, not just the physical structure, but the spirit of the parishioners.
And you know, when you're coming in to Buffalo, from where the dungeon tolls used to be,
right? And
you come in and you see the two towers towering on your right. Those
are
the two towers.
Those
are the two towers of St.
That's actually on Townsend Street. People think it's Broadway, but it's back. I'm sure when it was built, there was a good reason why it was back there. Actually, if you look around the city, most of the churches are not on main roads. They're back, and I'm sure there was a good reason when they did it, because that was 100, 150 years ago. A lot of the buildings.
This is still St. Stan's, I believe.
This is supposed to show General Pulaski overseeing representatives of the Polish Army veterans. And St. Stan's is represented by friends and parishioners in the ever-famous polka dots.
I see something with balloons.
I don't know how many polka groups we have this year, but we generally have quite a number.
Have 4 at least. Look at that, red and white balloons. This is it. This is the big moment.
Oh, get set. Get ready.
You know, I don't know who's doing this.
Sister Joanne is celebrating 60 years in the convent.
Oh, that would make sense. That would make sense. The polka dots.
I think.
Because they're like the polka dots. Oh, here they go. Some of the balloons are escaping.
Can't get the net off.
They're still working on it, but some are already escaping. I see them up in the air.
This is new. Brian, I've never seen
this before. Did we do that last year?
I don't remember it happening. Not on purpose, anyway. There they go. All right. We have launch. We have launch.
Set them free. Oh, look at that, red and white.
Of course, red and white.
Well, of course. It's not Polish national colors. You couldn't have anything else but.
And some polka music in the background.
Oh,
wow, if you could take a picture of that, just freeze it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just freeze that.
That is just awesome.
There will be special collection for this balloon. I will be over there.
I'm glad you haven't lost your sense of humor, brother.
Oh, look at that. Dancing the polka. That's, yep. It's also a tradition, not just Polish, but also Eastern European tradition.
Well, dance is a form of communication.
It is.
And that's in an art form.
It's a form of expression. It doesn't matter whether, you're sad, you're in the middle of the war, if you can't. They just don't make them like they used to. And there's Corpus Christi coming in. They've got.
Oh, look at that car. That's quite interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know if that's
Kelly, what's next?
I believe it's Corpus Christi Church.
Yeah, Father Anselm is no longer there. There was a new.
Viewing stand gets.
Now, when you see the when you saw the nest of nest number 6, I got a comment that one of their deceased members, Ben Rozak, was a famous sculptor here in Western New York, and he created the bust of General Pulaski that we put in on our ward every year. And when I was, we are chair of the banquets now, but years ago I was involved with getting the award that we give to the people at the banquet, and I always visit his home, and it was off of I remember it was off of William Street, and he had all this artwork that he used to have, and he and his family have donated it to us.
Yeah. So as I said, Corpus Christi is another one of those incredibly beautiful churches. I mean, you go inside, and it's huge, huge. And there's a new pastor there. Father Anselm left. Father Mark Widmański. Matthew Widmański is the new pastor and assistant. Father Simon Schreiner. They lead the ushers and parishioners and friends of the Corpus Christi Church. They also have Dożynki Harvest Festival, which is, a harvest
It's
festival.
in August, and I know a lot of the different churches who are Polish-based. The Polish National Church on Broadway in Lancaster also has that. They also do a lot of events on campus that different Polish groups will assist them with, including us.
Species in Cheektowaga. Please respect the traditions of the flamingo of Cheektowaga, an endangered species of Cheektowaga. Please put a flamingo on your lawn today.
Well, she claims to be 100% Polish, so we'll see. Oh, look at there's a pin. Okay, that's it. Certified.
We're in Cheektowaga, right?
There we go, the pink flamingo. Thank you. I was hoping for one of those. Look at that, all the pink flamingos. It wouldn't be Cheektowaga without pink flamingos. You know that, don't you?
Well, it's a sign.
Well, of course.
It's a sign. And accordions.
Yep. There was Rochester St. John Fisher College had I guess like a major competition, accordion competition. There was a whole bunch of people playing accordions, and the kids at the college thought that was pretty cool.
This is the Dyngus Day celebration, commemorating, of course, the day after Easter.
Mm-hmm. Buffalo's got one of the biggest celebrations, and
several different organizations do it. I think they had the big one at the railroad station. The Polish Falcons in Lancaster has it. The Chopin Singing Society has it.
Chopin started it. Started it many years ago, and now it's just mushrooming, all over the place. And other cities are beginning to pick up on it.
Well, there's so many Polish cultural events that are taken over, aren't they, by other groups? And people forget where they started from.
Yeah. Countryside Stove and Chimney. They're in Holland. If you notice that they have 4 vehicles, and their colors are our Polish national colors.